Welcome to the Spring Sports Media Day. First, we'll hear from head baseball coach Joel Holst.
Probably just a couple statements to kind of update you at least where we're at. I think last night was our 15th practice here in February, and obviously those February practices are, you got to get kids motivated, especially after that first week, and kind of getting into a week before we leave for Florida. You're just trying to find ways for our guys to make sure that they continue to improve and get better. And we've got a really good group of kids. We're 43 strong, and we've got 6 coaches in our program that each night, again, our focus is just the improvement side of things and getting better. We're excited. This group has really had a tremendous work ethic. It's been fun that they just have really not had a bad practice here to this point, and we have 22 pitchers that are working, and I think that we're fairly young right now related to our pitching staff. We're not freshman young, there's a difference. We've got a number of sophomores. We feel like the sophomore class from a pitching standpoint is exciting, and last year they had some opportunities as freshmen. We really didn't need to rely on them a whole lot, but I think that there's talent there. I think the biggest thing right now is consistently getting some of those younger pitchers in the zone. We do have our number 2 and our number 4 pitchers returning. Parker Bolt from Rhinebeck, Iowa, was kind of our guy last year. I think he had finished 7-5 in that range, someplace give or take, and he was one of those kids that I think there were 3 or 4 one-inning losses, low-scoring games. He was one of those kids that just had some tough luck more than anything. So I really feel like he's in that category of some of the number 1 type pitchers that we've had here at Wartburg. DJ Utley from Cedar Rapids was Player of the Year, positional Player of the Year, but he also was our number 4 pitcher. And at the end of the year last year, had some arm issues, and we feel like he's coming back healthy. And so you've got 2 kids that really saw a lot of experience on the mound for us, and we've got really there's a number of kids that saw innings last year that. So we're excited about that combination of having some experience and still some of these younger kids that we feel like are talented, and we do have a couple freshmen in there that we feel like are going to help us there on the mound. Some of our better performers from last year are returning. Besides DJ, we do have a 4-year starter behind the plate. Blake Wilson has basically pretty much caught every inning for us for the last 3 years, and just a great leader, very good defensive catcher, and really hit the ball well as a freshman and sophomore, and kind of had an off year last year offensively, and we're hoping we can get a lot from Blake. Ryan Kemp was a first-team all-conference center fielder for us as a sophomore last year. He's a junior this year, and really has developed well in our program. We're excited. That's kind of the middle part of our order is going to be dominated kind of by those 3 kids. We've got a transfer from Kirkwood that by the name of Cruz that it's kind of our second Aruban kid that we've had from Kirkwood that we feel like is going to be an offensive force. And so we're really kind of looking top and bottom right now. In our lineup, Jackson Litter was a leadoff guy for us last year that started. He could play a lot of different positions. Will probably be in the outfield more this year. And Jackson being a senior, we're just hoping he can stay healthy. Just a really good athlete. Had some injury issues last year where he was in and out of the lineup a little bit, and we're hoping that he can stay healthy for us. Our starting shortstop was a freshman last year. And Ty Mujin, one of the more talented middle infielders, I think, in the conference. And like I said, freshmen sometimes, they're going to be inconsistent, and that's kind of how he was last year. He'd make the great play, and then and then Buddha routine ball. And we just feel like Ty's improved a lot, and we're excited about what he's going to be able to provide for us just with a year of experience in terms of our middle infield. Tyler Willis has been in our program for 2 years, and he's kind of he'll probably will work into that second base situation right now. Again, Tyler's an athletic kid that really has seen how to do things and what the competition is like in the Iowa Conference. And at first base, DJ Utley and Milton Cruz will kind of split that position, and out of that probably the DH will come there. And really our third base situation with losing an All-American, Ryan Powers, we've got a lot of different things going on there. So we have some options that we're excited about. Really, those particular options, there really isn't anybody there that has significant playing time for us in the past. But you know, like I said, in the outfield, Litter, Kemp, we had an all-state kid last year that played some as a freshman, Jake Thuman, that was an elite all-state kid, 15 home runs his senior year. And he really had a very good fall, and we're excited about that. We have a couple seniors that have been in our program for 3 years now, Matt Kruger and Chaz Boots, that we've got some depth in our outfield, and we're excited about it. A lot of the infield depth is really going to be young, but I think we're pretty excited to the fact that we'll have a 2 deep in our infield, and there's a lot of competition from night to night related to our practices right now. So it should be interesting here as we continue to move forward. I think the big thing is just this young pitching and allowing it to have some success here early. If we can do that, I think that our pitching depth really should be pretty exciting, as we move through the season. So kind of a little bit of what's going on right now in terms of our baseball program. We've obviously got this week, and we leave Thursday of next week for Florida, and that is an 8-day trip that we feel like the competition is strong. We kind of asked for the best competition that we can possibly get related to our Florida trip, and we've been pretty excited with this Russ Mat tournament. We've been involved with the Russ Mat people for a number of years, and they do a good job for us. And when we come back from Florida, we're in Jacksonville, Illinois. They've got some turf fields down in Jacksonville that we usually play St. Olaf traditionally in the Metrodome, and obviously we've lost that facility, and we've been scrambling around trying to make that up until the new facility up north is completed, which we've been told is going to have capability of college baseball in it. So we'll kind of see. The Vikings probably, they were not very excited about trying to provide that, but I guess for them to get the funding that they needed to make sure that there was still opportunities for college and high school baseball in that facility. So I think we're a year away or so from being able to utilize that facility anymore. But then we get right into conference play. After those 2 trips, we open up with Co. It's kind of a flex weekend situation. They have finals the very last weekend of the year, and so we've been kind of in that flex mode where we're starting the conference season earlier than other conference schools, and the chances of sometimes the weather being able to get those games in are a little iffy, but we do get right into the conference season, which I think is the Iowa Conference for baseball should be pretty interesting, I think, overall. So what kinds of questions do you have?
You want me to start at the top of the list?
Sure, absolutely.
What kind of a player is Cruz?
Yeah, Milton actually played, was interesting because he had gotten the opportunity to play on a Caribbean under-21 national team here this fall, and actually took 2 weeks away from school, that's what I was worried about. But I think to have an opportunity to play nationally for a national team like that, they played in Taiwan, and I mean I think he's that kind of player for us. We're hoping that that we can kind of put him in the middle part of our order, and he played first base for Kirkwood last year, most of their season, and so has got some experience, and so we're pretty excited about being able to add him in the middle part of our order and kind of develop that middle, and so I think he's that kind of player.
Kind of guy who can add a little pop to the middle of that lineup too, or?
Yeah, we were very impressed this fall with, between him and Utley. DJ Utley is as powerful a kid. The ball just flies off his bat, and those two guys, BP wise, are pretty impressive, and so I think Milton's kind of right in that category related to DJ in terms of the power side of it, and that right-left combination. I think we're pretty excited about that.
And then in regard to your pitching staff, with the experience you've got back on the field and in your offensive lineup, is it a good situation to break in some new arms?
Yeah, I would say that, like I said before, I'd much rather have talented sophomores that, they're kind of hungry a little bit. Sometimes when you get a lot of seniors that, they've kind of done it before to a certain extent, and they're really focused in on what the next step is for them, which they should be, the real world, getting into graduate schools and things like that. Last year, our senior group just did not perform the way that we had hoped at the end of the season. And Ryan Powers kind of had one of those years where he was an All-American as a junior, and I think the pressure just really kind of got to him a little bit. But we had a number of seniors that probably just underperformed a little bit, and I don't know what causes that, other than the real world is right there, and they've got to make some pretty tough decisions, and they're hoping for job opportunities and things like that. So I would much rather have a talented group of young guys. I mean, and we've got 7 seniors this year, and obviously we talk about that every year, is how can we consistently get them performing at a level where they have in the past, without having that shock of having to get that job and starting to pay off school loans and things like that. And so this young group of pitchers, that's kind of exciting to see some of the talent there, and for them to, especially after getting their feet wet a little bit, whether it was in varsity or JV settings last year. So we're hoping that we can support them, obviously, with a solid offense and even more importantly, the defense that's playing behind them. But I think our guys are pretty excited just in general about the possibilities there on the mound.
Do you anticipate using Utley as more of a starting pitcher or a reliever or a little of both? Or?
Yeah, it's just because of his arm issues that we've kind of told DJ that hey, he wants to play first every game, but I think that have him DH and recover as a starter. The relief side of it, you just never know when those kids are actually going to throw, and sometimes we get them up and we get them warm, and then maybe they don't come into the game. And I think for him, just knowing he's going to be a fourth game type guy and give us, if he can give us 5 innings, and then we can go to relief, I think it's just a lot easier for him to recover and keep his arm in shape, and that's what we're hoping that we can do here, and that's the kind of the way we've approached it.
Another guy in that group that had good numbers and limited kind of opportunities last year is Naderman. I mean, where does he fit in the mix this year?
Yeah, Gavin was a transfer to us last year. He was at Upper Iowa to begin with, and just didn't work out for him very well, and we were so happy to have him come in because he was our best relief guy last year. He's not an overpowering guy, but he's got a nice split finger fastball with a lot of movement that's late, and we're hoping he can be a similar guy for us because the pressure just does not get to him. He can come in with bases loaded. He did this about 2 or 3 times early in the season as a freshman last year, and he'd get double play balls and get out of an inning, get out of a tough spot, and we we used him there. I mean, it was just amazing. And so, you know, he was that kind of kid that kind of stepped up, and he really, I think he's improved. I think he would like to say, Coach, I'd like to start games, but sometimes, you know, when we go 9-inning games, you know, to have a kid that has that kind of knack of getting out of tough situations is a good thing to have. But you just never know. I mean, we may feel like Gavin could start some games for us and give us, maybe allow him to get more consistent innings too. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, a West Dubuque kid, just a good fit, and so we were pretty excited about having him last year and excited about his capability for us this season.
Last thing for me, I'm guessing your goals don't change from year to year, and how high should this team set the bar?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you're right. I mean, winning an Iowa Conference championship, you know, this is my 20th year at Wartburg. We've done that 13 times, and you know, 4 of the 6 times we were second. We were second last year to Buena Vista, and we feel like that, you know, the conference really had lost some good players. Kind of all the teams kind of lost good players, and there's quite a few that have players returning, and you know, it kind of always begins with our conference play, and obviously, if we take care of that, then competing nationally is something that you know, our guys, you know, we don't talk about it that much. It's just really kind of putting ourselves in situations where we're competing against good non-conference opponents, which we will here early, and then as we get into the conference, you know, just being consistent enough to put ourselves in position to win a championship, and then get in the conference tournament with 2 byes. I mean, the first and second teams, you know, there's an advantage there, and I think that our seniors were upset that we did that. We got one of the byes, and then we just didn't play very well in the conference tournament, which, you know, is always disappointing. And athletics, you know, you're gonna have some of that take place, but we're hoping we can put ourselves and really kind of have that pitching depth that's going to allow us to be successful in our conference tournament and then nationally. Wartburg is hosting a regional this year for the first time, and there's been a lot of pressure on Iowa Conference schools to step up and host, and we're doing that in the Waterloo Stadium, Riverfront Stadium. So we've done the work here now, securing hotels and everything, and obviously we're hoping that, you know, we're going to put a lot of work in no matter what takes place, and we'd much rather do that knowing that Wartburg is going to be in this regional setting. So that's exciting, and it's about time that we step up. We've been going over into Illinois quite a bit, you know, with a lot of the regional things, and I think the CCIW is is finally, you know, an Iowa Conference team is going to step up and host. So we're excited about that, but hopefully we're playing that third week of May, you know, in Waterloo. That's obviously a goal.
Obviously, Ryan Doty was a good all-around player for you a couple years ago. How does he fit in now as an assistant coach? Yeah,
you know, it's our first full-time presence on our campus, and we've had a lot of great assistant coaches that have done a lot of really good things for us with not a whole lot of pay. But to have Ryan there every day, you know, in the office from a recruiting standpoint, and he helped us last year, and we were impressed. There's not too many kids that can just step away for 1 year. He ran our off-season programs last year and is doing that now this year. And Ryan obviously was a starting middle infielder and one of our best pitchers. 2013 was our best guy on the mound, and so he's got that kind of experience. He knows what Wartburg's about, and we basically took a chance in hiring a younger coach. But we really have a very veteran staff. Jared Perkles, this is his fourth year as our pitching coach. Casey Chaplin's been with us for about 15 years now. Corey Carlson's a Wartburg grad and a very good local high school coach that's been in our program now for 4 years. So we really had, an opportunity to bring maybe a little younger guy in and kind of surround him by some older coaches, and so we're pretty excited about Ryan's development as a college recruiter and a college coach, and so it was really a good opportunity for us, and we're hoping that we can keep Ryan around for a while.